Difficulty is at the heart of gaming. Whether or not it's in the form of mechanical difficulty, or a long grind, or even a test of patience, being challenged is a major reason why we play games in the first place. Most games aren't consistently challenging, having a comfortable ebb and flow of difficulty, but what about games that are consistently challenging? Over the last few years, really difficult games have become really popular and the demand for more is pretty clear. So what is it that draws us to such difficult games, and as game designers, how can we design difficulty in our own games? I want to quickly tell you guys about my partnership with Two Anime. Two Anime is a Blender animation academy with basically everything you need to start animating in Blender. Whether you have no experience or you're an expert, Two Anime has basically everything for everyone. I was pretty floored when I first took a look at everything they have. If you've been considering learning animation in Blender, I do hope you find this course helpful. If you do decide to buy their course, make sure to use my affiliate link as it supports the channel. And thank you to Two Anime for being the first sponsor for this channel. As humans, we really like accomplishing things. That feeling of finally seeing your build come together in a roguelike, or memorizing a boss's attack patterns and taking them down, it can be a really gratifying experience. Difficult games exploit this and bring that feeling of accomplishment to even higher highs. This is also one of the main reasons why people love challenging rhythm games like Osu or precise platformers like Celeste. The mechanical challenge of hitting every note while staying on rhythm or landing every input over a sequence can be extremely challenging, engaging, and rewarding. With that said, it would seem to stand to reason that the amount of gratification we get from games increases alongside the difficulty of the challenges. This can be true. People come up with extremely difficult challenges for games all the time, and people complete them, so there's definitely a crowd of people that love being pushed to their absolute limit. But of course, for many people, there is a cutoff point where the difficulty and frustration outweighs the satisfaction and reward. Elden Ring is a really good game. I had a pretty great time with the game up until the Fire Giant. The Fire Giant was the first time the challenge was just too much for me. With other bosses like Radon, I really enjoyed the mechanical and visual aspects of the fight, but for the Fire Giant, sure it was kinda fun, but fighting the camera while trying not to get squished was kinda just my cutoff point personally. My point being that higher difficulty doesn't necessarily translate to a greater sense of accomplishment. The relationship between difficulty and frustration can be hard to manage, especially in more open-ended games like Elden Ring, where you can't really predict where the player will be or what they'll be doing. But as developers, we can take action to keep the difficulty just right for most players. There's really nothing stopping us from keeping track of a player's performance and changing aspects of the game to keep pace with them. A lot of games use this, and it's generally known as dynamic or adaptive difficulty. Maybe the most famous example of this is Resident Evil 4. Long story short, as you do better, enemies will be more aggressive and you'll be given less resources. Do worse, and enemies will be less aggressive, some will be removed, and you'll be given more resources. This can do wonders for a game's difficulty curve, adapting to each player's needs and getting them into the flow state. However, even though some players may find the adaptive difficulty rewarding and exciting, adaptive difficulty can overcompensate, making the game too easy or too hard, potentially muddying the experience for some players. Because of this, it may be wise to design your game in such a way that difficulty can be adjusted on the fly by the player, not with explicit difficulty options, but by giving the player options while they play, putting the choice of risk, reward, and difficulty into their hands. Player choice is a powerful thing. Giving the player the ability to interact with the game's world and make an impact on it can be an excellent opportunity to change their experience based on their actions. As game developers, we can take advantage of this to give the player more agency over the difficulty of their experience. For example, games like Dark Souls go about managing difficulty by adding mechanics that help the player fight against the difficulty curve. What I mean by this is, the player is able to explore the world, find items, armor, weapons, and even spells that make them more powerful. While some items may only give slight buffs or small changes to playstyle, over the course of an entire playthrough, the player will have several tools to help them tackle every challenge. When paired with some of the most powerful weapons and spells, even without having explicit difficulty settings, the game does give the player the means to determine how hard the overall experience will be. This can especially be seen in the amount of Dark Souls challenge runs that makes the game more difficult by limiting what items the player has access to. It essentially takes what the game intends, the player finding items before tackling challenges and maybe exploring some more to get stronger to handle them, and flips it on its side, removing the support the game gives them and forces them to work with what they have. Instead of giving players access to items and abilities to help the player, developers can instead create a variety of techniques and mechanics and ask the player to learn and master these mechanics to help them get through a game. The drop dash from Sonic Mania is the most basic example of this. Sure, you can choose not to use it, but many of the game's stages were designed with this in mind, so learning how to use it and mastering the ability effectively helps the player maintain their speed throughout the game's zones. Some games take this technique or idea of mechanically based difficulty even further. Doom Eternal is a game that requires you to learn how it works and play by its rules. You need to learn how your fairly big arsenal of tools works, the situations in which to use them, and how to manage all of them together. And on top of all that, you've got to learn how each enemy works. It's a game that does ask a lot from its players during the entire experience, but in return, it gives the player a sense of satisfaction and reward for learning its systems and overcoming its challenges. Whichever way a developer chooses to design their difficulty, the main goal is to make the game fun and engaging for the player. But what do you guys think? When designing the difficulty of your games, what kind of things do you consider for your design? And what do you expect from your players? You can let me know down in the comments below, or joining the Discord server and sharing your thoughts there. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. For September, I wanted to thank Sam and Ryan for supporting the channel on Ko-fi. I really appreciate it. It was really cool seeing this because I haven't advertised the Ko-fi at all. I mean, I think in some videos I've mentioned Buy Me a Coffee, but I've since switched platforms to Ko-fi. But I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks to the both of you for supporting the channel. It means a lot. I wanted to talk about AI. I know, scary. While working on this video, I actually have I've been reached out to by 2 companies wanting to collaborate, and they're AI companies. I'm not gonna say names because I don't want to get sued or anything. But I mean, if you've been in my Discord, you already know what I'm going to say. But I do not support AI in basically any capacity, right? It has its place, but in creative fields, in a lot of other fields, honestly, it does not deserve to be here. Maybe deserve is a strong word, I don't know. I just don't think it's right, like to replace human creativity with a robot. So yeah, safe to say, I will not be promoting any AI stuff on my channel ever. What I will support is learning. Got my first sponsorship with 2 Anime, that was really cool. I was really weary at first because I want to make sure that I'm supporting something that I believe in. I wouldn't sell something to you guys that I think is, you know, lame, right? Or that I thought was bad or anything. And, you know, I did my research and, you know, they sent me, they gave me the courses so I could look at everything. I've never been a shill before. I've never sold out before. And by that I mean I've never done an ad for anything, right? I've never been sponsored or had a partnership, so I really want to be careful going into this because it's my first time having one. And I'm pretty happy with it. You know, I thought the courses were really cool, and I'm probably going to use them when I get back into 3D game dev. And so when they reached out to me and I looked over everything and they gave me the courses, I was actually really surprised with how nice it was. So I'm hoping that you guys find utility in it as well. This isn't, I swear, this is not me being bought by them to say all this. You know, of course, I have like a financial incentive to promote it, right? That's the whole point of an affiliate link, right? But this is actually coming from me genuinely. I think it's quite cool, and I feel really lucky to, I mean, be able to promote this, I guess. Maybe not lucky to be able to promote it. I just think it's a cool experience, right? Because I actually believe in it and I find it useful, so that's really cool. I think that's all I have to say. I think the next video is going to be about walking simulators. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for the support in the channel. It means a lot. You guys are awesome. And see you later. Bye bye.
Mine did too.
Okay.
Skill diff, I guess. I don't know. Ping diff.
Who's getting diffed here, to be honest?
Ooh,
Yeah,
they got shotguns here.
I say it with joy.
Make a joke about your mom.
No. Yeah, you can. Go ahead, Twin. Didn't you ask politely?
Oh my god.
Well. Why is my dead body here, bro?